National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a tornado warning for Logan County in Ohio until 8:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 8:02 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Lakeview, or about 12 miles northwest of Bell Fountain, moving east at 30 miles an hour. Locations in the path of the storm include Russell's Point and Bell Center. A tornado watch also remains in effect until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time Sunday evening for Ohio.
Meteorologist Steve Principali here with you, watching a new tornado warning that's just been issued for Logan County. Tornado warning for Logan County until 8:45 tonight. We have Storm Tracker 7, and we're using this information to take a look at where the possible tornado could be. Here is Logan County. This is the Bell Fountain area, and this would be the likely location where there could be a possible tornado right now. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson putting a track on it for us here. And if you live in Bell Center, Rushsylvania, over towards Mount Victory, LaRue, New Bloomington, Richwood, Greencamp, this storm is moving eastward. Jamie, I didn't get the speed on it. Around 40? Around 40 miles an hour. Thank you very much. So if you live in the northern part and the eastern part of Logan County, certainly you need to be in your basements right now. Basement is best. If you don't have a basement, a closet, or a bathroom on the lowest floor of your house, something away from windows is a great place to be. If you can, get under a workbench, get under a table, something sturdy, something to cover up your head with. Now, this is what we look at very often. This is using live Doppler 7 radar imagery. Russell's Point up towards the Lakeview area, just to the east of Jackson Center. This area right in here, I know Jamie and myself both looking at this. This is the prime area where we would see the possible tornado. So if you live anywhere in this area in Logan County, you need to be getting to a place of shelter immediately. Right now, get to your basement. If you don't have that basement, again, the closet, the bathroom is great. If you live in a mobile home, get out of your mobile home. Find a sturdy shelter if you can, a friend's house, a relative's house, if you can get to quickly enough. If not, find that shelter underground or find a ditch. Get in a ditch, lie low, protect your head. It's perhaps your only place to be if you need to get to shelter right away. So in the Lakeview area up towards Russell's Point, just to the east of Jackson Center, approaching Huntsville, this is the storm, and this is moving eastward, again, speeds of up to 40 miles an hour. So this would be the location that we would be looking for that possible tornado. So again, this is Logan County. Logan County now has a tornado warning that goes out until 8:45. Logan County until 8:45. Jamie, if you wouldn't mind, can we just lay on a couple of these roads just to get our friends oriented here? This is State Highway 274 coming out of Jackson Center, and State Highway 270. Thank you very much. Just to get your bearings here, this is the location of a possible tornado along U.S. Highway 33 approaching Huntsville. If you live right now in the Huntsville area, you need to be getting to a place of safety and a place of shelter. Up towards Bell Center as well, State Highway 366 in this general vicinity would be where there is a possible tornado. Again, there are no indications right now of a tornado on the ground, but certainly indications on radar perhaps. What we're seeing here would be perhaps a developing tornado near the Russell's Point area, up towards Lakeview, down towards Jackson Center. This location right here would be the area of a possible tornado. We're looking at some information here that Doppler radar uses to see inside of a storm, and we're able to see storm motion, that is rotation. We color code this, so colors that are red or orange or yellow indicate motion away from the radar. Green, blue colors, your coolish colors indicate motion toward the radar. I should explain that our radar site is way down here off the bottom of your screen in Wilmington, Ohio. That's down in Clinton County, friends. So right in here, thank you, Jamie, indicating a good area where there is the rotation, or at least possible rotation with this storm, right in this area, and it's exactly where we would tend to find this just by looking at our normal storm side of the radar. What we're seeing right now near Russell's Point, up towards Lakeview, down towards Jackson Center, this area right here is where there's that likely location of rotation with the storm. It's moving eastward, so look out Huntsville, look out Bell Center. The warning goes out until 8:45, so certainly the threat is there of seeing tornadoes. Right now, we're just in an environment, the atmosphere extremely unstable. We're seeing many of these thunderstorms that develop have a little bit of rotation with them. And certainly that's what we're watching. That's why the National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a tornado warning for Logan County. So Bell Center down towards Russellvania, you'll have to watch out for this storm. You should be inside right now. Number 2, you should be away from windows. Number 3, basement is best. If you can get to your basement, great. Find a closet or a bathroom too on the lowest floor if you don't have a basement. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson, yeah.
I've highlighted the Indian Lake area. Might be a good idea if anybody's out there to maybe get on the cell phone, let them know.
That's a great piece of advice. This is the Indian Lake area that Jamie's highlighted. If you know anyone who's on the lake right now, Memorial Day weekend, many people outside boating or outdoors in general, call them on a cell phone. A cell phone to another cell phone call is a great and safe way to alert people of dangerous weather. And certainly with a possible tornado with this storm, that's very, very dangerous. We need to get people inside. They need to be away from windows. So get out of the lake. If you're out there boating, fishing, just enjoying the evening, boy, you're getting rocked by a good thunderstorm right now. Not only that, but a thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado. So you need to get to a place of safety. That closet or a bathroom on the lowest floor of your house is good, but again, a basement is best. If you are out on the lake, if you are out in the middle of nowhere and you can't get to shelter in time, you just can't get to safety, boy, find a ditch. A ditch is a great place to be, some riverbed perhaps. Get down as low as you can. Cover up your head. After all, it houses your brain. You need to find a way to stay safe. This would be the area of rotation. Once again, Doppler radar is able to see inside the storm. We are able to see motion. The radar site is way down here at the bottom of your screen in Clinton County. Motion away from the radar is depicted by your orange shades and your yellow shades. Motion toward the radar is your blues and your greens. So we're seeing a little bit right here near the Russell's Point Lakeview area, and also in Jackson Center. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson has highlighted another area where there could be possible rotation with this storm and a possible tornado. Now, we don't have any indications right now that a tornado has touched down, but we do know that this area here near Russell's Point and this area south of Jackson Center is where there is certainly some possible rotation. And Jamie, I just want to make sure I have my bearings correctly. This is the border of Shelby County and Logan County. Okay, great. So coming out of Jackson Center, this area right here, right along the Shelby Logan County line, and also this area south of Russell's Point, or near Russell's Point, I should say, up towards Lakeview and the lake. You'll certainly want to make sure that you're in a place of safety right now. Basement is best. We tell people that all the time. If you don't have a basement, a closet, a bathroom on the lowest floor. Stay away from windows. Flying debris up to 100, 200 miles an hour can be deadly, obviously. So if you live right along State Highway 274, coming out of Shelby County, State Highway 65, State Highway 720, this is the area of concern right now. This is the area where there could be a possible tornado. Bordering that, U.S. Highway 33 over towards the Huntsville area. You need to be taking precautions. You need to get to your place of safety and your place of shelter, because this possible tornado is moving eastward at speeds of 35 miles an hour. We also want to highlight other dangers with this storm. The lightning is obviously deadly. I mean, you're talking about 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's why it's very important, too. You're away from windows. You don't want to be watching the storm. You don't want to be outside at all. But also heavy rain, gusty winds, and perhaps some hail possible as well. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson putting a storm track on it with the Storm Tracker 7 system, and you can see Bell Center and the Ridgeway area as you head towards 913. You would be under the gun again as the storm continues to move eastward at speeds of 40 miles an hour. So if you're just joining us now, we have a tornado warning that goes out for Logan County, tornado warning until 8:45. We're going to stay with you on the air, continue to bring you updates as we continue with this tornado warning. We're not going to go anywhere just yet. We're looking very closely here at a couple things. One of the things we look at is basically how heavy the rain's falling. You see that very commonly displayed. But another feature of Doppler radar is this. These strange colors you see here, this actually indicates motion either toward or away from the radar. When you have orange and red colors, it indicates motion away from the radar.
The National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a tornado warning for Darke County and Mercer County in Ohio until 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time At 9:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a line of severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornadoes along the line extending from 15 miles west of Fort Recovery to 14 miles southwest of Union City, moving east-northeast at 40 miles an hour. Locations in the path of the storm include Versailles, St. Henry, Rockford, Greenville, Coldwater, Salina, Bradford, and Ansonia. Damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour can't be expected with this line of storms. In addition, tornadoes may develop anywhere along this line. The safest place to be during a tornado is in a basement. Get under a workbench or other piece of sturdy furniture. If no basement is available, seek shelter on the lowest floor of the building in an interior hallway or room such as a closet. A tornado watch remains in effect until 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Monday morning for Indiana and Ohio.
And good evening, meteorologist Steve Prince of Valley, along with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson, meteorologist Bob Hawks, watching the severe weather situation. We now have a tornado warning. Tornado warning that's been issued for Mercer County and also for Darke County until 11:30. Until 11:30, we now have a tornado warning for Mercer County and Darke County. This was the line that was moving out of, or I should say, from parts of Indiana and Randolph County into parts of Darke County and Mercer County. Now, we've been seeing signs with this line of damaging severe thunderstorms of some rotation. What we're seeing right now is it's moving right out of parts of Randolph County at speeds of 50 to perhaps 60 miles an hour. So likely some damaging winds with this as it comes through. And again, the possibility as it moves through, too, of seeing a tornado as well. This is the storm of concern, again, moving into Mercer County and also Darke County. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson putting a storm track on it for us, and these are the locations it would affect over the next several minutes. St. Henry, look out around 11:08, Coldwater, 11:11, 11:22 in New Bremen, St. Mary's, 11:24, Wapakoneta, approaching 11:35, Fort Shawnee, 11:41, then up towards the Lima area outside of our coverage area at 11:45. The safest place to be is in a basement. If you don't have a basement, a closet or a bathroom on the lowest floor of your house. Get under something sturdy like a workbench, like a table, something to protect yourself from flying debris. Get down low, cover up your head, maybe put some blankets over you, if you will, or maybe some pillows, something soft to cushion the blow of any flying debris. Get out of your mobile home if you are living in a mobile home or a trailer home. Not a safe place to be. These can have thunderstorm winds, just straight line winds with this line of storms of 70, perhaps up to 80 miles an hour. Certainly that can do some serious damage. Get out of your mobile home. If you can get to a sturdy shelter, do it. As low as you can go is the best place. If you can't get to shelter in time, a ditch or some low-lying riverbed is always a good place. Now, this line of storms moving very rapidly, as I was saying, eastward. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning, I should mention, for Randolph County, okay? So the severe storm is still in Randolph County, but we're seeing signs within this line of severe storms of some rotation. Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson is tracking this and putting a storm track on it and to see exactly where it's moving, but it's moving eastward, we know, into parts of Mercer and also Darke County. That's why the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for these two counties, Mercer and Darke County, until 11:30. This is flashing because we're seeing, again, some signs of rotation, at least within the storm. Jamie, I'm going to ask, is there any new information that we have at this point on that storm?
No, Steve, but I think something is important to point out is the part of the storm that may be producing a tornado or capable of producing a tornado is going to be this part of the storm right in here, and that's going to be racing off to the east-northeast. So we do have tornado warnings for Mercer and for Darke County, but the area that is at risk is going to be mostly across the southern half
of Mercer County and the northernmost extent of Darke County. This is the area right in here, I think, that needs to be most concerned about the potential for a tornado. However, there is another pretty tremendous risk with this storm as well, and that is that this entire line of storms, and it extends down into Wayne County, Indiana as well, is racing eastward at 60 miles an hour, and that means it's certainly capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds and perhaps even 70, 80-mile-an-hour winds. So basically anyone in Mercer County, Darke County, and even points to the south. There is a tornado warning in effect, but you need to be getting to your place of safety anyway because of the potential for 60, 70, 80-mile-an-hour winds, which are certainly strong enough of bringing entire trees down, breaking windows, maybe tearing some roofs off of houses. So this is a really very serious situation. Yes, it's a tornado warning, but some straight-line wind damage also could be a very, very serious threat across eastern Randolph County still, Mercer County, Darke County, and even down to the south into Wayne County and eventually Preble County as well. In fact, if we go to live Doppler 7 radar, just to give a perspective of the entire area, take a look at this line here that's moving through the Whitewater Valley into the Miami Valley, and this is going to be a threat for everybody in the entire area for the next, I'd say hour, maybe hour and a half. The potential for every single county in our viewing area to have some straight line winds over 60 miles an hour that will cause damage, not might cause damage, will cause damage in spots. But every once in a while along this line of storms, there's going to be a favored area where there could be a little bit of rotation in the storms, and that's where we could be looking at a brief spin up of a tornado as well. Yes, we all think of tornadoes as being the most significant threat, but really this entire line of storms is going to have winds strong enough of doing damage comparable to a weak tornado. So everybody really needs to be treating this situation very, very seriously everywhere in the viewing area. You may be in Springfield or Xenia right now and things are very, very quiet. 45 minutes from now, that may be a very, very different story, and that's why everybody really in the viewing area should be thinking about where they would go when your county does go under a warning and exactly how you're going to handle the situation. This could be a setup over the next hour, hour and a half where we could have every single one or almost every single county in the viewing area at some point under a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning. But again, one area that we're really watching very carefully is this part of the storm right here that's going to head up into Mercer County, because this is the one that has shown some signs of rotation and the potential of maybe spinning up a tornado.
And we continue with that severe thunderstorm warning too, Jamie. Just for another minute or so, I do want to remind our friends out in Randolph County, Indiana, that we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that goes out until 10 p.m. Indy time. 10 p.m. Indy time. Still another couple minutes, and likely just off to the east of Winchester. Boy, likely some very damaging winds that have pushed through that area over the last 15 to 20 minutes. You mentioned, Jamie, wind gusts or wind speeds of 70, 80 miles an hour. Not impossible with this line, especially when we see it accelerate, and it has accelerated out of Indiana. We've seen it moving, Jamie, I know you'll probably agree with this, we've seen it moving at speeds over 60 miles an hour, and that's just its motion. The fact that it has winds coming out from it, and when that hits the ground and spreads out, boy, you can easily get 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts with it. So look out Union City, look out some other areas, say up towards Mercer County, south of Salina, Rockford, getting into parts of Darke County, north of the Greenville area. And Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson putting a fresh storm track on it here, and really this has accelerated. So Greenville, 1108, the Covington area around 1122, West Milton, 1127, Piqua, 1128. You can see the Troy area would be affected by this, along with Tip City getting close to 1130 and Sydney around 1137. Now, no warnings just yet for Shelby and also Miami County, but let's just remind everyone that, boy, with this line accelerating, with its history of producing straight line wind damage and tornadoes, that we will certainly see, as Jamie was mentioning, many of our counties likely go under warnings over the next half hour to 45 minutes to an hour. So certainly if you're watching us, some great advice from Jamie. Think about what you would do if there was a tornado warning issued for your area. Get inside, number one. Away from windows is best. Basement, ideal place to be, no doubt about it. If you have a basement in your house, plan on getting there if there is a tornado warning issued. Have that weather radio handy. If you have a battery-powered weather radio, a great thing to have in case you lose power. It's got that battery power backup that can keep you informed, keep you safe during the tornado warnings. Jamie, let's go to you.
Steve, another thing
anyone can do is if you're watching us here on Channel 7, you need to get to your place of safety, but you're going to be away from the television and not able to see it. Just turn the volume up quite loudly, get to your place of safety so you can still hear us. And
some hail, perhaps golf ball size, is possible with this, but I really believe the main threat will continue to be the damaging winds and some brief spin-ups of tornadoes. Jamie?
Yes, Steve, there still is some indications that there may be some rotation with the northern part of this line where I'm highlighting here. And just to get your bearings, let me draw in the border between Darke and Mercer County. That is this right here. This is the Ohio-Indiana line right here. So we're talking about the southernmost part of Mercer County, just south of St. Henry, north of New Weston, and this part of the storm right in here, which is showing some signs of rotation. Certainly nothing that is making me think there is a tornado on the ground or anything like that, but the possibility that a tornado could spin up. And that's going to continue to head off towards the east, northeast. That's 40, 50 miles an hour. So those of you in southeastern Mercer County and even the southern, southwestern part of Auglaize County here around New Bremen, you're going to be potentially dealing with this part of the storm coming up in the next 20 to 30 minutes. If you live south of the Fort Loramie area, I think less of a threat of the potential for a tornado, but even you in northwesternmost Shelby County do certainly stand the chance of perhaps dealing with those very strong straight line winds from the part of the storm that is racing through Darke County right now.
Yes, and damaging winds, Jamie, are really going to be the big story. And I want to just reiterate the fact that when you have winds of 70 and 80 miles an hour, that is on the same scale as a weak tornado, an F1 on the Fujita scale for a tornado. So you're talking about winds that can do a lot of damage quickly. And here is Storm Tracker 7 zoomed into Darke County. And Jamie, would you mind just laying down a couple roads as well?
Sure thing, Steve.
Just to get people oriented here, because, you know, we're keeping you informed. We want to provide you with as much detail as we can here. And just to get you oriented here, where we are, this is Darke County, this is the Greenville area, right along US 36, approaching Bradford. Likely some damaging winds there, extending down across State Highway 571. This is State Highway 121. So this is the area right here where there are some likely very damaging winds punching in from the west. So if you're driving, especially out there, you know someone who might be driving on one of these roads, boy, see if you can get a hold of them on a cell phone, to another cell phone, because you're talking about some very, very damaging winds that can topple trees, power lines, rip roofs off a barn, and do a lot of damage. And up towards the Arcanum area.
Yeah, we're seeing this start to bow out kind of on its own as well, which could be an indication of another little burst of very strong winds that's going to be moving through southeastern Darke County and then eventually into southwestern Miami County as well.
And this line of storms, I just want to mention, has had a history of producing plenty of damage, unfortunately, across much of Indiana. You might have seen reports on, you know, maybe if you were watching the news, we've certainly shown you some video of tornadoes across parts of the Midwest and some of the damage. Well, this line of storms means business. Let me just tell you that the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, has much of our area out for a high risk of severe weather. Friends, that's something that you see maybe only once or twice a year, and very often that's something you see only kind of in Tornado Alley in Kansas or in Oklahoma. Well, our area tonight, again, has that threat of perhaps seeing everything from some brief spin-ups of tornadoes to some very damaging winds. We've seen large hail already in Union City and Darke County, and obviously the heavy rain and the lightning will continue to be a threat. And unfortunately, things are not going to get better anytime soon. We still have a tornado watch that goes out for our entire coverage area that you see highlighted here in this yellowish shade until 4 a.m. I would say that this certainly is of concern right now, but the threat will continue for seeing severe thunderstorms that could produce a tornado. And Jamie Simpson, our chief meteorologist, has zoomed us in here across much of Darke County, moving out of Greenville. Boy, I'm sure that we're going to be hearing reports of what happened there, because that bow that we were mentioning moved right through the heart of the Greenville area. And right now, probably this area in the southwestern part of, I'm sorry, the southeastern part, rather, of Darke County is of concern. And also look out Shelby County as this storm continues to push into your area. So Gettysburg, Bradford, the Sidney area right around midnight. Port Jefferson, 1209. Quincy getting into your backyard at 1216. If you're watching us from Jackson Center, get ready. Around 1219 is the ETA for this storm as it continues to move east-northeast. eastward. Just to rehash, tornado warnings continue for Darke County and Mercer County until 11:30. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings for Montgomery County and Preble County until 12:15, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Union County in Indiana right down here until 10:45 Indy time. Jamie?
Yes, Steve. We now have something different we haven't have to deal with yet. As this is now a flood warning that has been issued for Wayne County in Indiana. That goes until 12:30 Indiana time, and we're talking about 1.5 inches of rain that have fallen just in the last hour or so, and another inch or two of rain is possible, they're saying. And let's not forget what we dealt with only a few days ago with all the heavy rain that we had the other night. So the ground already saturated, the stream's already high. We're going to get a couple rounds of storms through the night towards sunrise tomorrow, and heavy rain and flooding could become a threat across the area as well. Another thing I want to point out is this part of the storm right here in Darke County. The National Weather Service radar in Wilmington is showing perhaps a little sign of some rotation here. And really, this is what we're going to be dealing with all night. I think the main threat, as Steve pointed out very well, is going to be the leading edge of these storms, producing the very damaging straight line winds. But anywhere along this line, there's the possibility that there could start to be some very small rotations, and it's possible that any one of those rotations could perhaps spin up a brief tornado. Those tornadoes will probably not be very strong. Those tornadoes will probably produce winds probably in the range of 80, 90 miles an hour tops. But the leading edge of this line with the straight line winds will have the capability of producing winds maybe 80 miles an hour as well. So it doesn't matter what type of weather is going to give you the problem, whether it's the straight line winds or the potential tornadoes. We're talking about the potential for 80 mile an hour winds with these storms as they do move through. So no matter where you are, whether you have a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, you need to be taking this situation very seriously. You need to be getting to a very safe place in your home, and you absolutely, without question, need to get away from windows as these storms do roll through, because they will be strong enough to break windows. They will be strong enough to bring down tree limbs that can break windows, and perhaps even entire trees. So that's why we talk about getting to a basement when there's a tornado. Well, in a situation like this with 80 mile an hour winds possible, get to your basement as well, because you never know when that tree in your front or backyard could come down onto the house, and you certainly don't want to be anywhere close to that when that does happen.
And Jamie, good advice, and some more Severe Weather Safety 101 for you, since we do have that flood warning for Wayne County. Just to remind you, you should never try to drive through a flooded roadway. You just don't know the depth. And all it takes is about 18 inches of water, to 2 feet of water, to float a car. 6 inches all it takes to knock you off your feet of fast-moving water. So never underestimate the power of moving water. So just another piece of advice. Flooding is straight-line winds as this storm moves eastward. Now, meteorologist Bob Hawks, along with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson, and I have been watching this line of storms, and we're going to continue to keep you updated here, because we are getting close to right around 11:30 or so. And again, that tornado warning will just be ready to expire for parts of Darke County and also for parts of Mercer County as well. So this line continues to move eastward at speeds of 60 miles an hour, zooming in here on this area, moving into parts of Miami County. Look out, Covington, Piqua, down towards Pleasant Hill, Ludlow Falls, and the Troy area. This line of damaging straight line winds is moving in your direction.
News Center 7 Special Edition begins right now.
Storms rumble through the Miami Valley. Good evening, I'm Jim Baldridge. Andrew Douglas is off tonight. Tornadoes and severe weather hit parts of the Midwest this afternoon and this evening, and heavy weather is now moving through the Miami Valley. News Center 7 meteorologist Steve Principali is here with the first look at your weather. Steve.
Well, Jim, certainly, as you know, and as many people know, we are dealing with right now a severe weather situation. We have a number of warnings to pass along to you. First of all, the tornado warnings for Darke and Mercer County have expired right now, but we are still dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings for Montgomery County, and also a severe thunderstorm warning out for Preble County. A new tornado warning has just been issued for Miami County. Jamie, take it away.
Miami and
Shelby until 12:15, Steve. Miami County and Shelby County tornado warnings until 12:15. The situation with these tornado warnings are not...
The National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a tornado warning for Miami County and Shelby County in Ohio until 12:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a line of severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornadoes along the line extending from Fort Laramie to 11 miles west of West Milton, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Locations in the path of the storm include Troy, Tip City, Sydney, Pleasant Hill, Piqua, and Covington. This line of thunderstorms has a history of producing wind damage. The storms will continue to producing damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour and also be capable of producing tornadoes anywhere along this line of storms. If in mobile homes or vehicles, evacuate them and get inside a substantial shelter. If no shelter is available, lie flat in the nearest ditch or other low spot and cover your head with your hands. A tornado watch remains in effect until 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Monday morning for Indiana and Ohio. A tornado watch also remains in effect until 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Monday morning for Indiana and Kentucky and Ohio.
As you probably know, a tornado warning is now in effect for Miami County and Shelby County. Miami County and Shelby County, you now have a tornado warning until 12:15. We have been tracking this line of damaging severe thunderstorms moving out of Darke County into the heart of the Miami Valley, Shelby County and Miami County. If you are watching us right now, you need to get to your place of safety. That's a basement. That's best. Stay away from windows. If you don't have a basement, find a low place in your home like a bathroom, a closet, a hallway on the lowest floor. Get down, cover yourself with something, whether it's some blankets, and get under something sturdy, a piece of furniture, maybe a workbench. Jamie Simpson has been mentioning put on a bicycle helmet. Protect your head as best you can from flying debris, as this line of storms means business. Damaging straight line winds of speeds of 70 to 80 miles an hour is possible, and certainly some brief spin-ups of tornadoes possible with this as well. Just to refresh everyone's memory on what else we have going on, in addition to these two tornado warnings for Shelby and Miami County, a severe thunderstorm warning continues from Montgomery County until 12:15, as well as Preble County until 12:15. And out here, our friends in Union County, Indiana, if you're watching us right now, you still have a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:45 your time, 10:45 Indy time, and that is still part of the same line that really just snakes its way back across Indiana and has had a history of producing damaging straight line winds. Winds that can topple trees, topple power lines, really do a lot of damage. As Jamie was saying, blow branches into windows, creating flying glass and a dangerous situation. So we want to keep you safe. And Jamie, I'm going to toss things over to you and see if you have any fresh information as you're looking over the data now.
Yes, Steve. Well, let me point out a couple of interesting things right here. This area right in here, the National Weather Service NEXRAD radar is indicating some potential rotation. Right in here, it is indicating potential rotation. And also right in here, it is indicating potential rotation. So just as I was talking about a few minutes ago, the main threat with this line, I think, still is going to be the straight line winds along the leading edge. However, anywhere along this line, there is the potential that there could be a brief spin-up. Let me get an indication of speed. These are moving at about 60 miles an hour. So let me kind of give you a storm track along this entire line here. Give me 1 second to get this all set up. Okay, this entire line like this, which extends down into Preble County, is racing east-northeast at about 60 miles an hour. That's going to take it to Bell Fountain in 25 minutes, just to give you an indication of how fast it is moving. Troy, you're only several minutes away. Piqua and Sydney, only several minutes away from the worst of these storms. And the areas Dayton northward, we're talking about 15 or so minutes away. So once again, we do have tornado warnings for Miami and Shelby County. We have no confirmation of any tornadoes with this line of storms. That certainly is possible that we could have something spin up. The greatest threat is still going to be the straight line winds, which could be 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. The secondary threat is going to be some brief, small tornado spin-ups that could have winds 80, maybe 90 miles an hour. So bottom line, anywhere in the heart of the Miami Valley from Montgomery County northward right now, and even our eastern counties in another 20 or 30 minutes, you are at risk for potentially getting winds as strong as 80 miles an hour. 80-mile-an-hour winds can do some very significant, serious damage, bringing entire trees down. They can take roofs off of houses or barns. So we're talking about some very significant damage that could occur with these particular storms. I guess if there was one area I was particularly worried about a tornado spin up, and that's not to say that we have had one or will have one, but there is a concern for that, it's going to be right in this area here, probably just to the west of Sydney. The reason I say that is because we have two lines of storms that are starting to merge with each other. This is the outline of the squall line that we've been tracking through Darke County and Preble County, but also there's this line of storms that extends out into eastern Shelby County. And every once in a while, when you get two lines of storms that meet like this, it can create a situation where you get some rotation beginning. So this would be the area that I would be most concerned about right now for the potential of a tornado. So if you live in the Sydney area, if you live up towards Anna, just east of Fort Loramie, that's the area I think that I would be most concerned about the possibility of a tornado. But really, I think anywhere in this area you need to be concerned for the possibility of 80-mile-an-hour winds. If we go back to live Doppler 7 radar for a moment, because I don't want to lose sight of the big picture here, and we continue to see a line of storms really from Wapakoneta right down I-75 now. It was only 10, 15 minutes ago we were talking about these storms in Greenville, now about to bear down on Sydney and Piqua and Troy. So these are really racing off to the east at 60 miles an hour, and it doesn't give you a lot of time until these storms move into your neighborhood. And that's why you need to be really thinking about what you're going to do, where you're going to go to stay safe. And even if you're not under a tornado warning when these storms do approach, I really think it would be very wise to get to your basement or get to an interior room on the lowest level of your house, simply because we think there is the potential for 80-mile-an-hour straight-line winds, even where tornadoes may not form.
And Jamie, you mentioned the importance of planning ahead. So if you are watching us right now in parts of, say, Logan County, Champaign County, Clark County, Greene County, down towards Warren, Butler, and Clinton counties, not any warnings for your backyard, but you may want to really start thinking and getting ready to act quickly, because there very well could be warnings issued for that area. Let me just rehash what's going on right now. We have tornado warnings that continue for Miami County and also for Shelby County until 12:15. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Montgomery County and for Preble County also until 12:15. A severe thunderstorm warning continues for another 5 minutes or so for Union County in Indiana until 10:45.
80 miles an hour, which would race across the area, and still some strong storms in Union County as well. We still have the tornado warnings for Miami and Shelby County, and right here is an area where the National Weather Service radar is still indicating potentially a little rotation. This area here in northwestern Miami County, potentially some rotation. And you may be saying to yourself, well, wait a second, I'm looking at live Doppler 7 radar. I'm really not seeing anything that looks all that ominous here. Well, our radar right now is not seeing those storms all that well because there is so much heavy rain falling right near the radar site. So I want to switch over to the National Weather Service radar. Yeah, it looks a little different now across Shelby and northern Miami County, where their storms are still fairly strong. And again, just to show you those areas, this is the area I'm still most concerned about in north central Shelby County. And I talked about this about 10 or 15 minutes ago. We have two lines of storms. We have this particular line here that has been causing the very strong winds. But notice you also have a line like this. And that, where they meet, is an area where you can start to get some rotation, and there are indications that there may be a little bit there. So that would be an area of concern for a potential tornado spin-up. Another area that may need to be watched is where this line of storms starts to intersect with this line of storms. So those of you in southeast Miami County and western Clark County certainly should be, I think, maybe a little bit more heightened awareness from these storms. We're not getting any signs of any rotation with any of these storms right in here, but there's certainly the potential for that. And I just want to repeat again, whether you have a tornado warning or not tonight, we need to really take these very, very seriously, because whether it be from a tornado or from straight line winds, there could be winds 60, 70, 80 miles an hour with these storms, which really is going to cause, I think, some pretty significant damage in spots. And it may not be until tomorrow morning when the sun comes up that we'll know exactly the extent of the damage from these storms.
Jamie, I was going to ask if you have a second and you can put this radar here in motion.
Absolutely, Steve.
Just to show our friends out there watching the speed of this. You know, we were talking about this line moving out of Indiana across Randolph County, and just how quickly it was moving. Well, the storms that really are moving through the area quickly right now have a lot of wind energy in the upper atmosphere to push them along, and that's what you're seeing right now. And that's why we're especially concerned, really, right along the I-75 corridor extending right down across the Dayton area. This line of storms means business as it moves eastward. Its motion is rapid enough, but the fact is, when you get winds coming out of a thunderstorm hitting the ground and then spreading out, kind of like when you turn on water and the water goes and hits the base of the sink and spreads out in all directions, that same type of thing happens with thunderstorms. When cold air comes out of it, sinks, spreads out along the ground, that's when a lot of damage is done. And when you have that combined with the fact that these storms are racing so quickly, there's definitely that concern as well. So once again, we continue to keep you updated here. I'm going to toss things over to Jim Baldrige with some more information. Jim?
Okay, Steve, we've had storms of various kinds in many parts of our area most of the evening. News Center 7's Neil Connerman has been talking to area law enforcement agencies to see what sort of problems or damages they've had. Neil, what have you learned?
Well, Jim, we've had several calls of storm sirens going off in communities. We have checked with emergency dispatchers in Dark, Miami, and Shelby County, and we're told that aside from some reports of limbs down, really no reports of major damage at this time. Of course, officials do point out that it is dark, so damage not as evident without daylight. So we're keeping abreast of the situation. We'll continue to contact those communities and the different counties to find out if there is any reports of damage. But for now, in Dark, Miami, and Shelby County, nothing aside from just some tree limbs down.
Okay, Neil, thank you very much. At this point, we don't know of any serious damages or any serious problems, but the potential is certainly there. Steve, Prince of Valley, back with more.
Jim, we continue to watch right now. If we can check out live Doppler 7 radar, I'll kind of show you what's been going on. This is the big picture. And what we're especially concerned with and what we look for very often are areas along this line of thunderstorms where it tends to bow out or bow forward a little bit. And we're seeing that. Or if it has kind of a snake-like configuration to it, that is a problem. And just getting into northern Montgomery County right now, we're seeing a little bit of that, but especially so across Preble County. Do you see this bow-like configuration here approaching the Eaton area? That's likely an indication of some very strong damaging winds punching in from the west. Once again, Preble County and Montgomery County, we continue with severe thunderstorm warnings until 12:15. Also, Miami County and Shelby County continue with tornado warnings until 12:15, so the threat continues of brief spin-ups of tornadoes. And as Jamie was explaining earlier, it's where cells or thunderstorm segments kind of get together, like right here where there's a line extending east-westward, then there's a line that looks like it's north-south. Well, right where that intersection is, you often can have enough shear or spin to produce perhaps a brief tornado. So that's one area that we often look for, especially across the northern part of Preble County. Now, meteorologist Bob Hawks, I'm going to ask if you can zoom in on Storm Tracker 7 just just to show that area really quickly here, and thank you very much. Here we are here in the Dayton area, and just off to the west, moving across Preble County, that's where we're seeing a little bit of that. The cell's oriented west to east and then north to south here, so very likely there could be maybe a brief spin up. Now, we have no tornado warnings for Preble County, but it's just something to keep in mind, and it's likely something that we'll see during the course of the night. It's very possible, in addition to our damaging winds, we may have to watch for brief spin-ups of tornadoes. With these winds of speeds of 80 miles an hour, we're likely going to see plenty of damaging wind gusts that can topple trees, topple power lines, rip roofs off of barns, and it's on the same scale as what you would see with a weak tornado. That's why we take these things so seriously. And once again, with this line snaking its way back into parts of Union County near the Liberty area, although there's no warning right now for Liberty and Union County, I'd still say that there is a very strong, perhaps severe thunderstorm out there, producing some heavy rain, some gusty winds, plenty of lightning, and also the possibility of seeing even some hail with this system as well. I'm being told, too, that we have some fresh video in from the Kettering area, I believe, of some lightning. So, friends upstairs, if we can just go to that real quickly, we'll be able to show you. The heavy rain threat is obviously there, and with all the lightning coming from the sky as well, just a dangerous situation. And this is one thing that we need to mention to you just to keep you safe, because lightning is the #2 weather killer. Flooding is always an issue, especially with the ground being so saturated, especially what we dealt with on Thursday evening. Flooded roadways will be a problem. Do not drive your vehicle through a flooded roadway. You just don't know the depth, and you can put yourself in a world of hurt by doing that. So back to Storm Tracker 7 we go, and we are continuing to deal with, again, a severe weather situation out here. Tornado warnings continue for Shelby County and Miami County until 12:15. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Montgomery County and also for parts of parts of Preble County until 12:15, and Butler County a severe thunderstorm warning until 12:45. Lots of warnings, and we're going to continue to keep you posted on what's going on across parts of the Miami Valley. I'm just going to step out of the way to give you the view there, and I just wanted to let you know that we have some graphics upstairs. If we can go to that right now, and I will begin to kind of explain some storm reports from parts of the Miami Valley right now. And what you're seeing right now are plots of areas where there were reports of tornadoes, hail, wind damage, or also damaging wind gusts. So this is what we're seeing right now, and this is what has been reported across the heart of the Midwest, from parts of Indiana, where the red indicates the tornado reports that we've had with this. So you get the idea that we've had numerous reports of tornadoes. The green is hail, and also the blues indicate wind damage, and the yellows are wind gusts. So we have, unfortunately, a potpourri of different threats with this. That's why we're especially concerned. You don't have to count the number of red dots to see that we have that tornado threat. That's why our entire area has a tornado watch that goes out until 4 a.m. So we continue with a tornado watch for all of our counties here until 4 a.m. Of course, that's 3 a.m. Indiana time, but regardless, the threat continues there, and we've had numerous reports. This is just since midnight, or since earlier today. This is our day's worth of severe weather storm reports, and you can see that obviously it's been a very, very damaging day with plenty of reports of
really starting to weaken, so I think there's less of a threat of anything problematic for you. Same thing in northern Miami County. Those storms really starting to weaken, and the reason for that is there's just been so much rain across this area now that they are weakening because the air is cooling off. I talked a little earlier about a concern I had where the original line of storms meets up with another line of storms, and we're seeing that in this area here, southeastern Miami County. Well, we are getting indications that this particular storm right here is now starting to show signs of rotation. It's going to head off towards the northeast at about 50 miles an hour. So those of you in eastern Miami County, western half of Champaign County and the northeastern corner of Clark County. This storm is going to be very, very strong. It is going to produce some damaging winds, perhaps some hail as well, some indications of that, but especially some strong winds. And there could be still in this part of the storm, I think, the possibility of a brief tornado spin up. This is the storm right here that I am most concerned about right now in terms of that. However, we have some other very strong storms as well. This one here in Preble County, very, very strong, racing off to the east-northeast at 56 miles an hour. So the Dayton area, we just got one round of storms, but this one in Preble County, that'll be headed into the Dayton area in the next 20 to 25 minutes, and then up into Clark County as well. We continue with some storms in Union County, Indiana, and west of Butler County, and those are going to continue to race up towards the east-northeast at about 50 miles an hour. So Butler County, eventually Warren County, you'll be getting into this activity as well. It looks like for the time being at least, everyone north of a line from, say, Richmond up to, we'll play it safe and say the Piqua area, probably up to about Bell Fountain or so. Everywhere northwest of this line, your immediate threat of severe weather appears to be over. We have another line of storms that may move in towards morning that could give us yet another threat of severe weather, but at least for the next few hours, you can go to bed and sleep safely, I think, in Sydney and in Greenville and up into Winchester, Indiana, and Mercer County as well. So that's some good news for those of you in the northwestern Miami Valley, but Urbana, Troy, Eaton, Springfield, Dayton, Xenia, Middletown, all of the southeastern Miami Valley, you are still under the gun for the possibility of 60, 70, maybe even 80-mile-an-hour winds with these storms. Steve?
Jamie Ann, you hit the nail on the head. That's a major concern when you consider how much damage that can do, straight-line thunderstorm winds. We have a report in from 11:45 of one tree reported down in the Hagerstown area. That's in Wayne County out in Indiana, reported by law enforcement. So certainly plenty of down trees and power lines. Unfortunately, maybe the problem as we head into the night. So that's not certainly some good news. But I will tell you this. The good news is that you can plan ahead for this and you can prepare right now. Perhaps maybe if you do lose electricity, just make sure that you've got the necessities and you're ready and you're prepared during the night. Yeah.
We now have tornado warnings for Champaign County, Clark County, and Logan County. Those go out until 12:45, and I am fairly certain that it is because of the, yes, it is. It's because of that storm I was talking about just a moment ago here in southeastern Miami County that's racing off towards, you can see exactly why.
The National Weather Service in Wilmington has issued a tornado warning for Champaign County, Clark County, and Logan County in Ohio until 12:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a line of severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornadoes along the line extending from Lakeview to New Carlisle, moving east at 40 miles an hour. Locations in the path of the storm include West Mansfield, West Liberty, Urbana, St. Paris, Springfield, Russell's Point, North Lewisburg, Mechanicsburg, Delaware Graph, Bell Fountain, and Bell Center. Damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour can't be expected with this line of storms. In addition, brief tornadoes are possible anywhere along the line. The safest place to be during a tornado is in a basement. Get under a workbench or other piece of sturdy furniture. If no basement is available, seek shelter on the lowest floor of the building in an interior hallway or room such as a closet. A tornado watch remains in effect until 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Monday morning for Indiana and Ohio. A tornado watch also remains in effect until 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time Monday morning for Indiana and Kentucky and Ohio.
And a tornado warning, as you just heard, continues for Champaign, Clark, and also Logan County until 12:45. So we have been watching this line of severe thunderstorms as they continue to race across parts of the Miami Valley, and we're seeing some signs and indications right now on Doppler radar of some rotation within this storm. The man who's been watching a lot of this all night long, Chief Meteorologist Jamie Simpson. I just want to ask Jamie what you've been seeing with that line as it's moved in.
Well, Steve, I've actually been concerned about this storm for a good 5 or 10 minutes now. Anytime we see two lines of storms merge in a situation like that, you always have that concern. One line of storms here, another line of storms here. And even though the northern part of that original line has weakened considerably, it's where they merge that is the real concern. And we are continuing to watch right in this area here. That's the area that I'm most concerned about. I'm going to zoom in on that area, hopefully right now as we're getting an update on live Doppler 7 radar. So St. Paris and Christiansburg, in particular, right in this part of the storm here is where I would be most concerned about something spinning up. Now, this is racing off to the northeast at about 50 miles an hour. So those of you in Clark County, you should be most concerned if you live in the northwest part of the county. Western Champaign County is the area that I'd be most concerned about as well. And we're going to switch back over to the National Weather Service radar, and it is a little bit behind live Doppler 7. The live Doppler 7 showing the area right in here. The National Weather Service showing this interesting feature right here. And one of the things we look at for rotation with storms is when the rain starts to get wrapped back around where the area of rotation is, and we're starting to see that a little bit with some of the red shades you're seeing here. If we switch over to the velocity products, it is showing not clearly, but certainly the possibility. And if you've been with us through the evening, we've been talking about this. The warm colors, the yellows, the reds, indicating motion away from the radar site, which is down off your screen in Wilmington, and the cooler colors showing motion towards the radar site. And when you match up some of these reds with these greens right in here with what we're seeing on the actual, what we call reflectivity, or where the rainfall is, it's indicating that somewhere here is the area where we could see a little bit of rotation. Going back to live Doppler 7 radar, nothing really clear-cut showing up by any means. Just to give you your bearings again, this is the Clark-Champaign County line, and this is the eastern border of Miami County. So it's right in this area here that I'm concerned right now most about the potential for a spin up. And we should point out, Steve, that we've gotten no confirmation whatsoever on any of these in terms of actually producing tornadoes. These warnings are not being issued because of any spotters seeing tornadoes. They're being issued because the National Weather Service down in Wilmington is watching their radar very closely, and they're seeing indications within the storm of rotation. And anytime a storm rotates, you start to think about the possibility, the potential of a tornado spin up. And these warnings are certainly for exactly that, the possibility and the potential, not anything that has definitely happened. And I know a lot of you at home are watching us right now and saying, well, why are you staying on the air if we don't have a tornado on the ground? We're doing this because we are concerned about the possibility, and there are people watching us who really are counting on this information, and that is why we stay on the air as long as we do. That is what we do here. We try to inform and keep people safe. So please just bear with us here while these tornado warnings continue, because we are going to continue with this coverage through the next half hour or so for these particular warnings.